Patriots Day by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Let's get right to it. Today we are talking about 4 big-name running backs the Patriots could sign based on a list from our friends at USA Today's Patriots Wire. I know that they've been watching the show, and so we'll go ahead and get right to our list here. Here is the current Patriots depth chart at the running back position right now. As you can see, Rhamondre Stevenson, your top running back, he is going to be the bell cow no matter who the Patriots bring in. He's going to be the leading rusher. But with that said, they need a running mate of sorts to kind of ease the load a bit on Rhamondre Stevenson. And if you look at the numbers from returning rushers in 2022, you'll see why he needs a little bit of help. Stevenson last year, over 1,000 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns, and over 5 yards a carry. But the next leading returning rusher was Mac Jones at 102 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2.2 yards per carry. Pierre Strong at 10 carries, 100 yards, 1 touchdown, 10 yards a carry. Kevin Harris had 18 carries, 52 yards, touchdown, 2.9 per carry. So the Patriots still looking for some help of some sorts to help alleviate the load of sorts from Rhamondre Stevenson. Today's NFL, you got to have multiple running backs, so we'll go over that list here in just a second. First and foremost, though, folks, need you to not just subscribe to the channel, but also turn on notifications. Whenever the Patriots sign a player, such as a running back like we're talking about on today's show, maybe it's DeAndre Hopkins, whatever it may be, if you turn on notifications, you are going to be alerted immediately when we have a new video up with instant reaction analysis. And we also have some exciting stuff in the works in the future with some live shows, watch parties, mailbag segments, whatever it may be. So turn on notifications now. That way you are immediately aware when we put out that new content here on the channel. So here's what I want to do. For everyone that turns on notifications, that's part of what we call the Noti gang around here, type gang in the comments section. We'll shout you out with the next edition of Patriots Today. So go ahead and do that, and we'll continue with today's show. So the first name on the list is the obvious one, right? Dalvin Cook. We've talked a lot about Dalvin Cook over the last few weeks here on Patriots Today, in particular because we know about Dalvin Cook and DeAndre Hopkins potentially wanting to play with each other, and the Patriots are one of the few teams in the National Football League that could potentially make that happen. Dalvin Cook started his career with the Minnesota Vikings from 2017 to 2022 and had a very good run in Minnesota, a 4-time Pro Bowler from 2019 to 2022. And I think there's a misconception with Dalvin Cook because he got released that he's cooked, no pun intended. He's coming off his 4th straight season with over 1,000 rushing yards. Here's the numbers that we're talking about here, folks. In 2022, he averaged close to 4.5 yards per carry, had 8 touchdowns, nearly 1,200 yards. He was outstanding. Sure, he might not be what he was in 2020 and 2019 with nearly 1,600 yards and 16 touchdowns in 2020 and 13 touchdowns in 2019, but he's obviously still very good. And what about his role as a second running back potentially in the Patriots offense? Here's more from Patriots Wire. Cook and Stevenson working together would instantly give the Patriots the best running back tandem in all of football. It's important to keep in mind that the Minnesota Vikings' decision to release Cook was based more on financial reasons. Any team would love to have a 27-year-old running back that has rushed for over 1,000 yards for 4 straight seasons. So here's our pinned comment today. What do you guys think? Should the Patriots sign Dalvin Cook? Weigh in. Tell me in the comment section what you think. Y for yes, in for no. Should they bring in Dalvin Cook or not? Tell me what you think. We got some others to talk about, but what about Dalvin? He would be the most costly of these names that we're talking about here. What do you think? Let me know. Y for yes, in for no, if the Patriots should sign Dalvin Cook or not. The second most notable name on this list is Ezekiel Elliott, who most recently played with the Dallas Cowboys and had a very good run in Dallas, but it was pretty obvious that he's not the same running back that he once was, that he's clearly lost a step. You don't want him to be your bell cow, and you definitely don't want him to be your center either, based on how things went in that playoff game last year. But nonetheless, Ezekiel Elliott, a 3-time Pro Bowler in 2016, 2018, and 2019. And you want to talk about consistency with Ezekiel Elliott. Think about this, folks. In every season of his career, he's had at least 850 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. And here's what I mean as far as Ezekiel Elliott losing a step, but still having something to offer. Think about this. Last year, he had less than 4 yards per carry, 3.8 to be exact, with 12 touchdowns. That yards per carry number was the lowest of his entire career to this point. But still at 12 touchdowns. He can still be a power back and good in short yardage and be what the Patriots are looking for of that secondary back to Stevenson, that complement of some sorts to let Stevenson carry the workload and bring in Elliott for those short yardage situations and to punch in and get those touchdowns. More from Jordy McElroy from Patriots Wire of what he had to say about Ezekiel Elliott, saying this: Elliott isn't in his prime, but he can still plow through NFL defenders like bowling pins. All the Patriots would need Elliott to do is serve as a reliable number 2 option with limited reps. Fresher legs might make the former Cowboy even more dangerous on the ground than he was last season. So what about Zeke now? We asked you about Dalvin earlier. Let's ask you about Ezekiel Elliott. If you want Ezekiel Elliott, type S for sign. If you don't want Ezekiel Elliott, type P for pass. Weigh in the comment section. Tell me what you think. S for sign, P for pass, on if the Patriots should bring in Ezekiel Elliott or not. A lot of excitement in New England this season about star rookie Christian Gonzalez, as he'll be taking the field for the very first time for the Patriots. He was the 17th overall selection by New England, and obviously it was great to see that the Patriots got to trade down to get him. And good news, we are selling his jerseys. Not just the blue, not just the white, but my personal favorite, the Reds ones as well at chatsports.com/PatsJersey. You can get these today, and I got to tell you, it's a great time to get the Christian Gonzalez jersey, not just because the season is coming up very soon and you'll get this jersey in time for the season, but also with Christian Gonzalez being a rookie and a star rookie like that, I think he's going to be fantastic. Getting this jersey now, you're going to maximize on how long you can have this jersey for his entire career, and hopefully we see him be one of the great ones in New England. So go ahead and get yours now while supplies last. Chatsports.com/PatsJerseys is where you can get these Christian Gonzalez jerseys as well as other Patriots jerseys as well. Get yours now, chatsports.com/PatsJersey. Let's go to the third running back on the list. That's where we find Leonard Fournette. And Leonard Fournette, his career, I think, has been filled with peaks and valleys. We've seen the good with Leonard Fournette. We've seen the bad with Leonard Fournette. Starting out with the Jacksonville Jaguars, and things did not end the way he wanted to, ultimately ends up with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But you could argue it was better for his career that he ended up in Tampa the way it did, with him getting to play with Tom Brady, winning a Super Bowl, and the last 2 seasons leading the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in rushing yards. He made his presence known and made a big impact on this team. And one thing in particular with Leonard Fournette, and shout out to our boy Tommy for really helping Leonard in this sense, was that Leonard Fournette, before going to Tampa Bay, was not much of a receiving back of sorts. And we know how Tom operates, that Tom loves it when his running backs are pass catchers. And that's what he helped turn Leonard Fournette into. So with Leonard Fournette, you're not only getting a decent runner, but also a guy that has developed into a pretty decent pass catcher as well. The stats on Leonard Fournette the last several seasons, as you can see last year, we mentioned leading the Bucs in rushing with close to 700 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. The year prior with 812 yards, 4.5 yards per carry, and 8 touchdowns that year. More from Patriots Wire on Leonard Fournette. The Patriots love strong and powerful running backs that give opposing defenses nightmares of tackling them in cold weather. His familiarity working with Tom Brady in Tampa Bay should give him a heads up on how he'd likely be utilized by Patriots offensive coordinator Bill O'Brien and the Patriots. Imagine that. So, who is a running back New England should sign? We've mentioned a few names. There's obviously some others out there. But give me a name in particular that you would like to see the Patriots bring in to step up in the running back position. Give me one name that comes to mind that you'd like to see the Patriots sign. Let me know in the comments section below. Our final name on today's list is Kareem Hunt, who spent time with the Kansas City Chiefs, then went to the Cleveland Browns. And with Kareem Hunt, there's no question that he's a tremendous talent. But there's all the other stuff that comes with Kareem Hunt. We remember what happened in Kansas City when the video came out and, he wasn't honest with Andy Reid, ultimately ended up losing his job, goes to Cleveland, and things were shaky to say the least. And at one point he demanded a trade, didn't get it, and whatever it may be, he does have the talent, as we mentioned, with a Pro Bowl appearance in 2017, leading the league in rushing in 2017 as well. And the thing that I would say to Kareem Hunt's advantage as he goes further along in his career, maybe compared to the other running backs we've talked about, is that he's been a number 2 running back in Cleveland. He's been the number 2 back behind Nick Chubb, right? And so his legs, his body is a little bit fresher compared to some of the other running backs of his own age. You look at the statistics in 2022. He played in all 17 games with close to 500 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. That was an improvement on the ground, rushing yards-wise, compared to what he did the year prior with a little less than 400 yards rushing. And what about the idea of bringing him to New England to be that number 2 back? Here's more what Patriots Wire had to say. Kareem Hunt truly is a dual-threat option in every sense of the word coming out of the offensive backfield. The Cleveland Browns preferred to use him as their third down change-of-pace running back option, but he's clearly capable of handling the early down work as well. So to recap, our 4 names of big-name running backs the Patriots could potentially sign, they include Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Leonard Fournette, and Kareem Hunt. We'll see who the Patriots add to continue the great history of Patriots running backs, which leads me to my final question I want to ask you guys before we get out of here. No wrong answers. Who is your favorite Patriots running back of all time? Not asking you who the best is, but who's your personal favorite running back the Patriots have ever had? Tell me what it is in the comments section. Very curious what that is. Let me know who your favorite Patriots running back of all time is. As always, you can find me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, also Facebook, now on Threads at Tyler Jones Live. Communicate with me there. We'll talk more Patriots when this show goes off the air. The show continues on social media. You can find me there, and I'll see you next time right here on Patriots Today.